Welcome back to part 3 of my video series on balancing chemical equations. If you're new to balancing equations and want to start at the beginning, see the description below for a link to the videos for parts 1 and 2. In this video, we're going to balance a more complicated equation. On first glance, it might look simple, but we'll be balancing part of it with a fraction so that each compound can still have the lowest possible coefficient. Let's get started! Like before, the first step is to list out all the elements in the equation. Then we'll write down how much of each element is present on both the reactant and product sides. At this point, hydrogen is the only thing out of balance, so let's start there. We need to get more of it on the product side, so we will raise the coefficient of H2O to 2 and distribute the coefficient to the H and the O. The hydrogens are still out of balance, but that's okay. We now need to add more hydrogen to the reactant side. After adding a coefficient of 2 to NH3, which is ammonia, we will distribute the 2 to the nitrogen and the hydrogen. The hydrogens are still out of balance, but you can see the simple solution is to raise the coefficient of H2O up to 3. Since 3 times 2 equals 6, the hydrogen is now balanced. Make sure you distribute the 3 to the O as well. Now we have nitrogen and oxygen out of balance, so you might be wondering, which one should I fix first? Since oxygen is in 2 compounds on the product side, it has more variability and thus is a difficult place to start balancing the equation. So we'll do nitrogen next. There are twice as many nitrogens on the reactant side as the product side, so we'll put a coefficient of 2 in front of the nitrogen monoxide. Don't forget to distribute the 2 to the N and the O. Now we see that the only thing left out of balance is oxygen. Since the number is lower on the reactant side, we need to find a way to increase it. Unfortunately, O2 can only be increased by steps of 2 because of the 2 in the subscript. The way around this roadblock is to use a fraction. We need oxygen to equal 5, so the question is, what fraction times 2 will give 5? The answer is 5 over 2. You can determine this by writing it out like a multiplication problem. The 2's cancel and leave you with 5. Now technically, this equation is balanced. However, if we're honest, nobody likes working with fractions. To get rid of the fraction, we are going to multiply all the coefficients by 2. Finally, it is good to check and make sure that it is not possible to reduce all the coefficients using a greatest common factor. If you can, there's probably an error in your solution. That's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found this video helpful as you learn about balancing chemical equations.